Excuse me.
Ready to.
Good morning. I can't see. Oh, I can't. I can't. Good morning. Welcome, cuteness, on this early Saturday morning. Good morning. Thank you, LeMay. Good morning, Julia. Good morning, Tanetta, Vera. Tanetta comes in showering me with flowers this morning. Good morning. Good morning, Celia. Good morning, everybody. We got to talk. We got to talk. You see that? You see that? It's starting already. It's starting. Good morning, Molly. Yes, it's starting. Good morning, Positive Pook. Good morning, Sarah Lee. Fire. Faye Atlantic. Good morning. It's starting. Trump 2028. Good morning. I'm going to read this article from the American Conservative, which is a batshit right-wing media site. Sun, Moon, Star, good morning. Good morning, Queen Bee. Good morning, Christy. Why'd you almost block me, Hope? Good morning, Ladybug. Thank you for the gifts. Cuteness. Cuteness says Trump never ever sounds better. Big Angie, Lady T. It's Lady. Who said that? Let me. It went by too fast. Lady T. It is. It is what a lot of us have been saying. If Donald Trump gets into the White House, he ain't leaving. He's not leaving. And this right here is the proof of that. They are already planning. They are already planning to abolish the 22nd Amendment so that Donald Trump, if he would win in 2024, can again serve in 2028. It's they're already, this is the first article that I've seen that's already starting confirming what we've been saying. If he gets in the White House, he's never ever leaving. Shout out to Muscles and Nursing. I saw it over on his page. And I said, oh yeah, we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about this. I'm going to read the article from the American Conservative. Let me show you who owns the American Conservative. Let me show you who owns the American Conservative. This guy owns the American Conservative. He is also a writer for the Washington Journal. His name is Peter Tonguet. Tonguet is a journalist and critic whose work has appeared in a variety of publications, including the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, the Washington Examiner, the Christian Science Monitor, Sight and Sound, the National Review. He is also the editor of Peter Bogdanovich Interviews. I guess that's some book that he wrote. He wrote this article right here in the American Conservative. He is owner, CEO, whatever, of the American Conservative. And they are already starting to advocate, should Donald Trump win in 2024, they are already starting to advocate to changing the Constitution or abolishing this part of the Constitution so that Donald Trump can again win in 2028. It is just confirming what I have been saying and what other content creators have been saying. They are looking for control for life. And you see how they're starting? They're starting now. They're not starting in 2027 to advocate for Donald Trump to get another term. They aren't starting in 2027. They are starting now. Okay? They are starting now. Hence, what I'm saying is, if you want an independent candidate to be taken seriously and have a shot in a presidential election, you need to start earlier, not when the year before the presidential election is to take place. You see, they're all in the chat. They're all in the chat right now. The MAGA nut jobs, they're all in the chat. They're all in the chat. They don't have a problem with abolishing the Constitution if it means their MAGA Messiah gets into the White House. They don't have a problem with the overturning of rights because it's the overturning of rights for black and brown people. They don't have a problem with it. That's why they love their orange MAGA Messiah, because they hate black and brown people. That's on period. That's on period. They cannot tell you what policies of Donald Trump's they like because he doesn't talk about policies. When he goes to his KKK rallies, he goes to the KKK rallies to speak the language of hateful racists who are down in the chat. So, yeah, when they say they like his policies, ask him, what policies? What policies? Because if they really dug down in deep into the weeds and see what he really stands for, they would be concerned about their rights. But they're not. They're not. They're down in the chat talking about, oh, here's the liberal tears. Oh, here's the whining. Oh, Trump 2020, da-da-da-da-da-da. Plus, we've always said MAGA nut jobs do not read. So, when he says he loves the poorly educated, he meant that shit. He knows who he's dealing with. So, I'm going to read this article. Trump 2028. You can find it in the American Conservative. The American Conservative is a right-wing, I don't know if it's a blog site or if it's if it's viewed as a legitimate news site. I don't know. But I know that they are already proving what we have been saying, that if Donald Trump gets into the White House in 2024, his ass ain't leaving. His ass ain't leaving. Period. Period. They want this to be, whether you want to call it a dictatorship, an authoritarian dictatorship, a totalitarian dictatorship. That's what they want this to be. They want to be able to control minority groups. They want to be able to continue to float with their mediocrity and white supremacy. That's what they want to be able to do. They want black people and brown people groveling at their feet. They want free labor. This coffee is delicious. This is what they want. And yeah, I'm telling you, it's like Muscle said. Muscle said, I guarantee you that the Heritage Foundation, all of these MAGA nut right-wing organization, evangelical right-wing organizations, they've already got lawyers trying to make this shit happen. You can stop sending your requests to try to come into my live. I will not let you into my live. I don't know you. I don't know any of you people. If you are not a mutual, you will not be allowed up. I don't know any of you people. I don't know where you fall on the spectrum. I don't know how much you hate black and brown people. You will never get up in my life, ever, ever. You are beneath me, MAGA nuts. You are beneath me. I will never have a conversation with you. I will never allow you to spew any words in my life. There are plenty, my mutuals, they will go toe to toe with you. I will never allow you in the same space that I breathe. Hell no. No. I am not that girl. I am not trying to change your mind. I am not here for you, MAGA nuts. I am not here for you. I don't want to hear anything you've got to say. Nothing. Period. That's who Politics by Tabitha is, in case you didn't know. I'm not here for you. I'm here for black people. Period. I'm here for black people. And if anybody else who rolls with black people, who learns from the information that I give, that respects what I do here, they are welcome. They are welcome to sit and listen and hear what I gotta say. But MAGA nuts, you're not welcome. Anytime you make yourselves known in my comment section, you get blocked. You get blocked. You will never occupy the space that I'm in or that I control. Ever. Ever. So stay down there at the bottom of the barrel in the comment section. And if there's one of my moderators come in here, you won't be down in the chat for very long. You won't be. You won't be. Hold on, I see someone. I got him. I got him. You're welcome. Sweet soup, Sue the Pearl, whatever your name is, you're welcome. I match energy. I match energy. So if you feel what I'm delivering is hate, I'm matching what I get from MAGA nuts, baby. I'm not the black person that's going to turn the other cheek. I'm not the black person that's going to forgive. No. If you're looking for the docile black person, you're not going to find it here. I match energy, bitches. I match energy. I'm not for you. I'm not here for you. I'm not here to entertain you. You give it, I fucking give it, baby. Period. So let's get into this article. All right? Y'all know I'm going to have commentary and all of that going on as I read this article. It's pretty long, but from what I gather already, it's not really that long. From what I gather already from them mentioning in the picture here, the 22nd Amendment is an arbitrary restraint on presidents who serve non-consecutive terms and on democracy itself. I'm gathering that these MAGA nut extremists are going to try to take down the 22nd Amendment. Remember, I told y'all, they are going after the Constitution. Everybody loves to combat with what I'm saying with, he can't do that. That's against the law. That's against the Constitution. Hear me and hear me clearly. Their plan is to get rid of the Constitution. Their plan, the laws and precedents of this land that have been in existence for hundreds and hundreds of years, their plan is to get rid of all of that shit. They don't plan to follow the laws as we know it. They plan to throw that shit out and make this a nation by which they say. It's not going to be a nation, people following the word of God. No, it's going to be based on what they say. Remember, Donald Trump is not a fucking Christian. He's not a fucking Christian. All this, I'm selling Bibles for $60. He's interested in the $60. He doesn't give a shit about the Bible. Doesn't give a shit about the word. And they follow him so much that these evangelical MAGA nut Christians, yeah, they don't even believe in the teachings of Jesus Christ, because if they did, they wouldn't be following this MAGA nut Christian, this false prophet. Ooh, Lord. Ooh, Lord. Child. That's how you know they're dumb and they're ignorant. They're hypocrites. They're hypocrites, baby. They're hypocrites. All right, so let's get into this article. Hold on, if I see him, y'all know I'll block him. Let's get into this article. So this article was dropped on March 26th. The guy's name is Peter Tonguet. And this is the article. Lost in the left's endless babbling about Donald Trump's alleged threat to democracy is a very simple but inconvenient truth. Trump's reemergence as the Republican presidential nominee in 2024 is a triumph of democracy. See, they want the freedom to discriminate against black and brown people, LGBTQIA plus people. They want the freedom to discriminate. They want the freedom to run around here and say the N-word. They want the freedom to do those things. They want the freedom to be cruel to people who do not look like them, who do not think like them. That's what they want. That's how all of this started. Black people holding racist white people accountable for their racist biases, for their racism, for their xenophobia. That's how all of this started. Uneducated white people felt left behind, and educated black people were moving up in this country because racist white people told black people for years, pull yourselves up by your bootstraps, knowing that they have implemented racist systems and laws in this country. And so black people, they told black people to get an education so that you can grow in this country, and that's what black people did. And black people started to see growth in this country. We started to buy homes. We were doing well. We pulled ourselves up. We worked within these racist systems, and we started to see growth in this country. And in becoming educated in this country and having certain freedoms in this country, we started calling them out on their bullshit, and they don't like being called out. Meanwhile, the racist, uneducated white people who didn't take advantage of getting a college education, who couldn't afford to get a college education. There's plenty of white folks, black folks, Latino folks who all fit in that category. Instead of pulling themselves up by their bootstraps, they think other people are taking their jobs. They think other people are taking their jobs. They want to be able to continue to float and excel on their mediocrity. Moving on. But that's what all of this is, to me, this is why how all of this started. Right? White people felt left behind. White people felt unheard. And black people were starting to educate themselves and were starting to grow in this country, and they started to call out the racist laws in this country. They started to call out white people on their racism and their biases. They didn't like that. Not only did Trump secure the nomination following his defeat in 2020, so they admit that Donald Trump lost in 2020. A rather incredible feat in and of itself, but did so in spite of every obstacle the mainstream media, the Republican establishment, and the lawfare apparatus have put in his way. The primary voters and caucus goers who chose Trump did so in spite of January 6th, the prosecution of the former president, or even the popularity in some MAGA quarters of Ron DeSantis. They can't stand Ron DeSantis, baby. They chose him because they damn well felt like it. This is democracy in action. This is democracy in action. The voters surveyed the scene, turned out the noise, and selected the man the rest of the world loves to hate. What could be more democratic than voting for your preferred candidate against the advice, the warnings, the threats, the fear-mongering of your betters? Yeah, they view what we do as fear-mongering. The man has come out and said that he will be a dictator. Tried to clean it up by saying, for one day. The man has come out and said he will, hey Shalina, he wants to put his, the people who speak out against him in jail. But we're the fearmongers. This man is telling us what he wants to do. But we're the fearmongers. Yet, even if Trump returns to the White House this November, the 22nd Amendment will bar him from standing for re-election in 2028. Right, because if he wins in November, that will be his second term. That would, based on the Constitution, you can only serve 2 terms. So he won't be able, if they don't destroy the Constitution, he's not supposed to be able to run in 2028. Ratified in 1951, the amendment is largely seen as a kind of constitutional course correction following the 4 consecutive presidential terms of Franklin Delano Roosevelt. So what they're arguing is, what they're basically saying is that because Donald Trump, he served 2 terms as president, but because they weren't consecutive terms, he should be able to run again in 2028. That's the basis for their argument. Okay? Okay. The amendment reads in part, no person shall be elected to the office of the president more than twice, and no person who has held the office of president or acted as president for more than 2 years of a term to which some other person was elected president shall be elected to the office of the president more than once. This sounds reasonable enough, especially in light of FDR's hold on the office. Yet those who supported the amendment more than 70 years ago could not have foreseen the prospect of a one-term president who lost the office but who later regained it in a subsequent election. Grover Cleveland remains the only president to have successfully vaulted himself to the White House in non-consecutive elections in 1884 and in 1892. Theodore Roosevelt, president from 1901 to 1909, also gave it a try by running as the Progressive Party's standard bearer in 1912. In modern times, it is virtually inconceivable that any of the ousted one-term presidents would have seriously thought of running anew against the same opponent. Now the occupant of the White House, who had bested them 4 years earlier, think about it, George H.W. Bush running against Bill Clinton in 1996. This is not a reflection of a weakness in their character, but the reality of American public life. Voters are fickle, and by the end of the first term of any presidency, they have long forgotten the loser from the 4 years earlier. As the primary season has shown us, the Republicans have not moved on from Trump. Yet the 22nd Amendment works to constrain their enthusiasm by prohibiting them from rewarding Trump with re-election 4 years from now. This is plainly unfair. I see Shalina down there. I told y'all once they get into the chat, yeah. Somebody says, wait. Jamage? I'm waiting. You heard it correctly. I told you from the jump. Their argument is Donald Trump was president for 4 years, 2016 to 2020. He lost. So he hasn't served a consecutive term, a back-to-back term. So this is going to be their argument because they feel Trump is so popular and he didn't really serve a consecutive term. He should be able to run again in 2028. But because of the 22nd Amendment, that he can't do it. He won't be able to do it because he would have served his 2 terms of presidency, even though they weren't consecutive terms. So they are going to try to abolish the 22nd Amendment so that Trump can win or go or run for another term if he wins in 2024. Listen, somebody says Obama should run again. User Happy Gma. Yeah, but let's be clear. The rules are for thee, not for me. Me being Obama. If this man were to run in 2028 and Obama turns around and runs again in 2028, it will be hell because the rules are for thee, not for me. Me being President Obama. I hear what you're saying. I'm all for what you're saying. You see them down in the chat? Trump infinity. That's what they want. This is what they want. This is exactly what they want. I'm trying to wake all of my people up. They're all on board. They're all on board. This is what they want. Black and brown people. This is what they want. This is what they are shooting for. And if Donald Trump were to die, they'll appoint the next president. Coked out Donald Trump Jr., uneducated Eric Trump, dumbass Ivanka. They'll appoint the next Trump presidency. And he's saying, It would be unfair because Trump is so popular amongst the MAGA nuts, which are 30% of the country. He's so popular with the MAGA nuts that he should be allowed to run again. Scrap the 22nd Amendment. He should be able to run again in 2028. This is what they want. This is what they want. And this is what I and so many other content creators have been screaming. If this man gets in 2024, you can kiss elections goodbye. And these people, these MAGA nuts who are screaming Trump infinity and all of this stuff, yeah, they are with it because they're not viewing how it would affect them. They're so stupid. They're not viewing it as how it would affect them. They only care that it affects us. And they are okay with it just as long as it affects us. Forget their freedom. That's how deranged they are. When they talk about Trump derangement syndrome, it is them who suffers from Trump derangement syndrome. Deranged means crazy, right? And they are crazy for this man. They are crazy for this man. They are the ones that suffer from Trump derangement syndrome. I saw that Mike Lindell is facing eviction because he is behind in his rent by $200,000. Before this man hitched his wagon to Donald Trump, this man had a thriving business. He was a multi-millionaire. Multi-millionaire. The products that he sold, that My Pillow, it was top. Top. He hitched his wagon, lost his fucking mind, became deranged with support of this man, and he is now facing eviction because he can't pay his rent, being sued for billions of dollars. Rudy Giuliani hitched his wagon to this man, and now he has been sued and owes two black women $148 million. $148 million, of which he does not have. That's derangement. All of these attorneys, what's the man's name? The Ken man that just got disbarred. He hitched his wagon to Donald Trump, and he has lost his law license, his license to practice law. That is crazy. Deranged. Trump's 18 co-defendants that have been charged. You are crazy. You suffer from Trump derangement syndrome. Clark, thank you. Jeff Clark. What did I say? Ken somebody? Jeff Clark. Thank you. Down in the chat. Eastman. Which is it? Is it Clark or Eastman? Listen. Y'all hitched 18 co-defendants. Y'all hitched y'all wagons to this demon. And now y'all are facing jail time. That is crazy. So when they try to tell you that you are suffering from Trump derangement syndrome, who's the crazy ones? Who's the crazy ones? Do you know how many stories I have heard of MAGA nuts who have basically emptied their bank accounts because they supported this man, only to find out they have been swindled? That is crazy. Peter Navarro sitting in jail right now. The MAGA nuts who stormed the Capitol, who are in jail right now. I don't care how they try to spin it. I don't care if they try to spin it as them being hostages, being unfairly treated. You hitched your wagon to this demon, and now you are in jail. Who's really suffering from Trump derangement syndrome? I love it. I love it. Let's keep going. I ain't done with the article. Indeed, there has long been support for axing the 22nd Amendment due to the artificial limits it places on voter choice. You see, they don't care about the Constitution. They don't give a shit about the Constitution. Many popular presidents have agreed. They don't understand that this could go both ways, right? Because like I said, it's for thee, not for me. Many popular presidents have agreed. In 1985, the Washington Post reported that Ronald Reagan supported repealing the amendment, saying in private remarks that the lame duck labeling being applied to his second term left him feeling handicapped. In 2016, Barack Obama told David Axelrod that he was sure he would have coasted to a third term if such a thing were permissible. Obama would have won a third term. If Obama were to run now, if they abolished the 22nd Amendment and Obama was to run, he would win a third term. But I promise you, it's for thee, not for me. I am confident in this vision because I'm confident that if I had run again and articulated it, I think I could have mobilized the majority of the American people to rally behind it. End quote. Baby, if President Obama would have mentioned running for a third term, they would have taken him out. They would have taken him out. Rules for thee, not for me. The case of Donald Trump, however, makes an even more forceful ethical argument against the 22nd Amendment and for its repeal. If a man who once was president returns after a series of years to stand again for the office and proves so popular as to earn a second non-consecutive term, as Trump seems bound to do, to deny him the right to run for a second consecutive term, cuts against basic fair play. If by 2028 voters feel Trump has done a poor job, they can pick another candidate. But if they feel he has delivered on his promises, why should they be denied the freedom to choose him once more? Don't let questions of Trump's age in 4 years fool you. So they're already saying in 4 years he's going to be a certain age. What they're doing to President Biden now, he's too old, this and that. They're telling you, yeah, let's not do that to Donald Trump in 2028. Let's not hold his age against him. That's what this article is saying. Besides the glaringly obvious differences between the men in their brain power. So that right there says Biden is old. he's senile, which we know he is not. We know he is not. But that one sentence basically says that Joe Biden is old and he's senile. But let's not put that on Donald Trump. Physical strength and ability to walk in a straight line, Trump and Biden are about 4 years apart, making this issue something of a wash. If Trump wins in November and would be eligible to run for re-election in 2028, he would be 82. During that election, the same age Biden will be later this year. And at the end of Trump's hypothetical second consecutive term in 2032, he would be 86. So now they're not only advocating for 2028, he's now possibly advocating for Donald Trump to run again in 2032. Shout out to Shalina. Shalina, thank you so much for being here early on this Saturday morning and wielding your axe down there in the chat section. I appreciate you, girl. They're saying in 2032 he'll be 86 years old. Still, let's not hold that against him. The same age Biden would be at the end of his second term if he is returned to the White House. Conservatives have gritted their teeth for years at the left in their hatred of Trump, as attempted to pervert the meaning of the first the 25th Amendment and more recently the 14th Amendment. The case for repealing the 22nd Amendment is far more straightforward. As with prohibition, I can never say this word. Prohibition, I still feel like I'm pronouncing it incorrectly. It is simply a matter of finding the wall to get rid of a bad idea that needlessly limits Americans. Trump, it ends with Trump 2028. That's the article. That's the article, y'all. So, the article says Trump, it's titled Trump 2028, but they are advocating for Trump 2028, Trump 2032, and Trump 2036, which confirms for me that what I thought was true. Donald Trump gets into that White House in 2024, there will never be another election. Prohibition. Shout out to Mr. Anonymous for trying to help me out. There's just certain words I can't say, and that's one of them. I feel like the way it's written, it don't sound right the way I say it. Thank y'all for the gifts. But that's what I had to come in and share with y'all this early Saturday morning. Shout out to Muscles for he did a quickie about it. And which I was like, I need more. I got to go find this article. And when I found the article, I was like, okay, so yeah, this confirms what we have been saying. And now they are bold enough to not only put it in print for 2028, but in the article, they're talking about 2032 and 2036, which confirms they will get rid of elections. They will. Lock Trump up 2024 says that may be what they intend. It must not pass. How would you stop it from passing? How would you stop it? If the man gets in 2024 and they abolish the Constitution, or let's just say they abolish the 22nd Amendment of the Constitution, which would, if they abolish that, he would be technically able to run again in 2028. And let's say President Obama decides to run against him. Do you think it would be a fair election? Or would it be the type of election that Vladimir Putin runs over there in Russia? We vote, it's our power, use it now. 2024 may very well be the last legitimate election. People falling out of windows. Right. What happened to Navalny? Did they ever really settle? I mean, we know Vladimir Putin killed him, but Sapphire says Trump look old and rusty. He's not going to live that long. You must have missed the part where I say they will begin appointing the next presidents, the follow-up presidents. And it will be a right-wing MAGA nut job. If they don't go down the family line to coked out Don Jr. or to dumbass Ivanka and Eric, it will be whoever is amongst the crew. Yeah. News media ain't talking about this. This article came out on the 26th, and this article just confirms what so many of us are saying. See, now, when we first started talking about there never being another election again, the MAGA nuts were trying to make us look crazy. You know, Trump, you suffering from Trump derangement syndrome, trying to make us look crazy, like we don't know what we talking about. And now that this has come out, you saw them all down in the chat. Trump 2028, Trump forever, Trump in infinity. Now they're open and they're telling us what their plan is. Bish 4 says, I just want a normal day for us. We lost normal days when Donald Trump came down that escalator in 2016 and he was validated. Him and all his xenophobia, his lies, his alternative facts, his racism, his misogyny. When we allowed for that shit to be legitimized, normalized, normal days were gone ever since. He has told us what he will do. And yet you still have black and brown people focused on Palestine. Linda says, blame the media. I ain't arguing with that, Linda. The media is how he got into the White House. People like Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski gave him free press every fucking morning. Every fucking morning. Mystic, you're not hearing me. Mystic C. Mystic C. If Donald Trump is not alive, they will appoint someone. Because if he gets into office in 2024, they will immediately get to work to remove any laws that will stand in their way to make this happen. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Oh,
Good morning. I didn't expect that.
I
How you?
didn't mean to do that, but since you're here, speak your piece.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say I was surprised. Like, I'm not surprised. I was just typing in. They already changed the law for him, right? So he didn't have to pay so much. So what's one more policy, right?
Right, right.
Mhm. Yeah, all for Waihite. It's
Listen,
all.
if the
Mhm.
man gets into office in November of 2024, they will immediately get to work to overturning certain laws. Any obstacle legally that is in their way that could possibly keep them out of power, they will get rid of it.
Facts. It's so. It's so baffling to me. Like, how can you not see, especially after January 6th? How can you not see that he's trying to be a dictator here? He wants to be the American dictator. That's why he likes Putin. That's why he likes Kim Jong Un. That's why they
Mhm.
have money and shit. It's so maddening to me. Thanks, Todd. Appreciate you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Let me see. I might let somebody else up. I'll go through. I'll go through one at a time, though. One at a time. Thank you, Des. Um, one at a time. All right, Wanda's. I'll accept this request, but baby, let me tell you something. Keep it cute. I don't know who you are. Keep it cute. Wanda, good morning.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm good.
Um, my whole take on this is it's not what your original question was, but I don't understand why is it that they continue to lie in our faces saying that he is being treated just like everyone else when they know that he is not. And does he have something on everybody that the judges are scared to make a decision? The Republicans can't make a decision. Nobody is standing up to him. Nobody. And it's not like they don't know and are unaware of what has been going on for the last couple of years, because they do. They know it. It's in hindsight. It's right in front of everyone's eyes. But yet and still, because this never happened before, which is their excuse for not doing anything, I, I am so baffled and I am really devastated, because if he gets in 24, the world will never be the same. Period. Full
Period.
stop.
Full stop. Let me say this, Wanda. Somebody mentioned it down in the chat. When Donald Trump was in office, Mitch McConnell, Donald Trump was out in front, right? Doing all of his chaotic nonsense, right? He we were distracted watching what it was that he was doing. Meanwhile, Mitch McConnell was silently working behind the scenes.
Right.
Mitch McConnell installed so many MAGA nut federal judges across these United States. And so if you notice, all of these cases that end up at the Supreme Court, it's because they've gone through a MAGA nut judge that Mitch McConnell appointed during the Trump administration. So you have that, and then you have the MAGA nut jobs that's sitting on the Supreme Court,
Right.
right? And then you just have the ones that, for whatever reason, have their tail between their legs, are afraid to
Yes.
challenge the MAGA nuts and Donald Trump, like Judge McAfee here in Georgia. That
Yes.
whole case. regarding Fannie Willis, that hearing, that shouldn't have even
Girl,
been a thing.
I'm
And yet
done,
he allowed
okay?
it.
I'm done. They took her personal life and put it on display, which had nothing to do with nothing. But of
Right,
course, because she's black and because she's a woman, they tried to take her down.
right.
And with all the things that Trump has done, which is no comparison to what they're saying she did, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, the
Mm-hmm.
judge just, they just continuously let him get over and over and give another chance and another chance and another chance.
And then you got to think about the MAGA nuts roaming around our country. I believe they truly fear these people. They truly fear these people. I believe that's another thing that Judge Scott McAfee
But
is
look
dealing
at
with. I
all of
believe
the
he's
people.
afraid.
Look at all the people that he has threatening the
Mm-hmm.
judges and their
Mm-hmm.
children and their
Mm-hmm.
wives. They know he's behind it, but yet
Mm-hmm.
and still, it's like they just shove it under the rug.
Yeah.
Nobody should have to live like that, being
Nope.
threatened for their lives every single day, don't know when they gonna get knocked off or not. It's
It,
awful.
it 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 really is. And the only way that we can fight back against this is to make sure we get into that voting booth in November. That's the only way. That's the only way. We got to keep this man out of office.
Yeah, we do. We do. And thank you so much for
You're
taking my
welcome.
call.
You're welcome.
Have a great day today.
You too. You
Okay.
too. All right, Teresa, I'm going to let you up, but my finger is on the trigger because I don't know you. Okay? Okay. Hold on. Let me disconnect.
Good.
Teresa.
You need not worry. The danger is I lived through the time when the mafia ran wild here in America. And we had people with backbone who pulled them up by the collar. The fact that they are allowing this man to do all of this shows how weak our backbone has become, and our media has become about clicks and
Mm-hmm.
likes and not
Mm-hmm.
doing their job, which is to actually investigate and give us facts.
Mm-hmm.
It's gone. At the birth of Fox and Rush Limbaugh, it started to go down. So, right now, the danger to our democracy is they want to take our vote away.
Mm-hmm.
And what you said about Joe Scarborough was absolute fact. Absolute. And the fact that the president and vice president of NBC actually hired McDonald?
McDaniel.
McDaniel. And wait a minute, the head of MSNBC is Rashida Jones, right? She didn't know they had hired her.
Because the
She
person who
literally
hired
said,
her, Rashida fired.
Yes, they brought her over saying, hey, we'd like her to be on some of the shows over here. What's she gonna say? She's third person down the totem pole.
Right.
And funny how they fired the guy, but the president and vice president, who are the ones who did the phone interview and everything to hire her, they still got their job.
True. True. Why weren't they fired as well?
I mean, you're the yeah, he may be the talent acquisition, but it had to come up to you guys, and y'all okayed it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sin is a danger. And if you look at the Republican Party, what are we up to? 20 of the old school Republicans who have all decided, we're just going to step aside. You got your pick.
Right. 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 Why not? I see these Republicans in the House who are I guess retiring. I call it running and fleeing. Why are you running and fleeing? Why aren't you just deciding to vote along the Democratic Party line? to get shit done. Because the Republicans in the House have a very slim margin. Very slim margin. If these Republicans would band together and decide that they are going to work with Republicans, then they really could get shit done and silence the MAGA nuts in the House. So I'm confused. Hey, El Rico, I'm confused as to why they are just tucking tail and running. Maybe I'm missing something. I'm not getting it. I don't understand why they're running. I know they don't want to deal with the MAGA nuts, but that says to me that you really aren't there to try to get something done. You're more focused, you're still 100% focused on the party and not getting work done for the American people. Because if you are focused on getting work done for the American people, you can negotiate with Democrats to get actual bills passed. But they don't even want to work with Democrats to get bills passed. They would just rather tuck tail and run.
I,
I'm confused about that.
that bill that they got on the border, that funding bill, they should have been on the phone to the sane Republicans over in the House going, we got to get this through. We need you to talk to the Democrats over in the House because we need to get this through and we're going to bite Johnson's butt to make him bring it to the floor.
Right.
But instead,
Right.
like,
But
oh,
they were willing to vote for it until Donald Trump sashayed into the middle of everything. Right? So
yeah.
they feared Donald Trump. And it's like what you said, what I said. What does Donald Trump have on these people that they are so loyal to a party that he has completely destroyed? The Republican Party is no more. Maybe they need to face up to that fact. The Republican Party is no more. It's the MAGA Nut Party now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't view them as heroes, tucking tail and running. I don't view them as heroes, but I understand there is a strategy behind it because it opens up the seat, right? For a Democrat to be able to take over that seat. But why not just work with Democrats?
There you go. Oh, and one tiny thing before I leave.
Mm-hmm.
I really wish. I understand people want change. They want a third party. Do you know
Mm-hmm.
what you're not hearing? You're not hearing Republicans who see how bad MAGA is doing saying, "Hey, we need a
Right.
second conservative party."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Nope.
We're not hearing that out of them.
Mm-mm. 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 Only Democrats, only the left side is hollering about third party, and that was one of my points when I was reading this article. We are in 2024. They are already looking ahead to 2028. Do you hear the third party people saying, okay, just in case, let's start looking towards 2028? No, that's why I can't take these people seriously. And I'm an independent. I'm an independent that swings Democratic. If
Ma'am,
there
I was
was
in a line.
a valid third party candidate that could win against Joe Biden and Donald Trump in 2024, I would be there voting for that candidate. But there is not. There is not.
Ma'am, I was in a live and I brought that very point up. Well, we have to focus on 2024. No, 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 no. All fall you kept talking about third party. So you start talking about third party for 2028 now, if that's really what you
What you
want to do.
want? Mm-hmm.
And I was literally told to shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. Well, wait a minute. Y'all didn't want people to tell you to shut up in the back in the fall. But now you're gonna tell me when I tell you to think ahead, 4 years ahead, start planning. Now you tell me I need to shut up. I don't know what I'm talking about. What I'm
Right.
talking about is you don't wait till 6 months or a year before an election to start.
Exactly.
Republicans don't.
Right, exactly. If they were serious about a third party candidate for 2024, they should have started vetting candidates and looking for a candidate 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
4 years ago.
I'm gonna drop
Hey,
that
Jess.
to you. Thank you for
Okay. All right. All right, Teresa. Thank you for coming up.
yes, ma'am.
What you mean you can't read it, Jess? What do you mean? Hey, Elrico says true. I've been telling people, and they don't want to listen because a lot of these people who had jumped on the political train because of what happened in Palestine, they haven't been in this political arena. They started talking this after October 7th, a few months ago, right? So they don't know how politics really works. If you want a viable third party candidate, right, Teresa, Teresa's down there saying, get to work now. You could have a viable third party candidate, but it would be for 2028. And then you have to think about funding because you need funding to be able to get on the ballot in all of the states in the United States. All of these people talking about Claudia De La Cruz and this person and that person. Yeah, they're not going to be on the ballot in all 50 states. Not all 50 states allow a third party candidate on the ballot. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he's got, I think the last time I looked, he had a balance in his finances, his campaign finances was close to $9 million. There's a reason why you don't see news advertisements all over MSNBC, Fox News, wherever, of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He can't afford it. He can't afford it. It's going to take a lot of money to be able to get this candidate in a position where he can truly run for president of the United States. Just think about the elderly in our country. You think they know who Claudia De La Cruz is? This is why Robert F. Kennedy has been able to be so successful up to this point, because they know the Kennedy name. They're banking on that. He's running on the Kennedy name. So the elderly know the Kennedy name. You think they know Claudia De La Cruz? I asked my mama, I said, Mom, do you know who Claudia De La Cruz is? My mom is 76 years old. She was like, who? Who is that? So, yeah, to spring up a Claudia De La Cruz a year before the presidential election, and she doesn't have the financial backing to really get her name onto mainstream news or even your local news, they have no chance. No chance. And so it infuriates me when people get down in my comments putting her name or what's the Jasmine lady's name or anybody's name that just does not stand a chance. I block you. I block you because you're not serious. You're not serious. First, if you were serious, you would educate yourself on how it works. Politics works in this country. I can't take you seriously. And I don't have time for people who aren't being serious. I don't have time to waste on you. I don't. I don't. You could take that however way you want to take it. I don't have the time or the patience. There are plenty of people out here who are educating in how politics works. I'm not that person. I'm not that person. I'm here to let you all know what is going on with these candidates. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for hanging out with me, for listening to the article. I will do a quick follow-up video about this article. But yeah, we knew it was coming. We knew. We've been saying it. If Donald Trump gets into the White House in 2024, he will never leave. There will be no more elections. And now they are publicly advocating for it. They're publicly advocating for it. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for the gifts. Shalina down in the chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Did I thank y'all for the gifts? Thank y'all. Thank y'all. And just thank y'all for the support. I'll see y'all later. If you came in at the tail end of this live, I will download and I will put it up over on my YouTube channel. And y'all can rewatch the live, okay? Okay. See y'all later.